Hobbs is a fantastic hit scan player that we've seen time and time again. Brill is very versatile. He's kind of like that, baby bass style of guy, where he can play a bunch of different things. I think that was at least on the Western side, you didn't see that all that much, where you saw a guy that can play hit scan and be flexible over to the Genji. But you look at a recent interview with AKM where he's saying that's basically what the new style is. That's what the position is. You're seeing a lot of tracer mains, and then you see a flex DPS that can play all the hit scans and also can play Genji, sometimes even Pharah. So you need to be able to cover those roles, and this guy Frill can do that quite well. So I think that's a good pickup for them as well. DPS wise, I think they're doing pretty solid. I just don't know too much about their tanks. Their supports, we know obviously Disaster has been a mainstay in Academy Gaming history, and we've seen a couple of times as well. So just a question of the tanks. I'm curious to see what these guys are going to be able to do.
Well, they probably tuned in a little bit for that last match here, and they're going to be looking at Exodia and Sinker, those two DPS players. Exodia back on that Pharah. We'll see what they can do. They did lose this point in particular in their semi-final match here, but they were able to storm back into the next two rounds to be able to take that one. We'll see how they fare this time around here, as they're kind of struggling to make their way onto the point. Good positioning overall, looking for a bit of a boop from the Lucio as they about halfway to capturing this one. Badger is the first to fall. We'll see if they're able to bring him back up. They lose the mech Hurix. They lose the point mid-fight. And Hurix, not a good start whatsoever here for Full Send. Voltic Esports looking rather good. Sinker still in the area along with the Tracer and the Mercy. But it looks like they're just going to be forced to look for a regroup.
Well, this is the same exact issue that they had in that last series where they played on this exact map. And Night Market, they just lost that first push, and then really lost a lot after that as well, because they went into that side door. They never got onto the point. They lost control. They tried to get into that little hole, and just that AoE pressure that's coming out from all of the same different types of characters and stuff as before. They're just taking that same kind of pressure at the exact same spot. So maybe they need to kind of change things up a little bit here to have a little bit of a different result for their first fight potential.
Zodia looking for a little bit of a flank here. There's a barrage up top. Picks up one for himself. We see a Valkyrie come out from Dino. Can he get the kill? Or the Resurrects, rather. Door is taken out of the mech Hurix, and it looks like he's going to be taken down. It's pretty back and forth, but the self-destruct is here. Not quite able to find anything for themselves, but Full Send, I'd say, looks rather decent at this point here, because they kind of have the numbers on the point. Only 3 of them remain. We'll see if they can take care of the Mercy, and he's looking pretty healthy. Wow. They clean it up. They pull themselves back into the fight, and they're at 63%.
And talk about a Pharah Mercy duo, too. I mean, between Frill and Dino, Dino is a guy that is definitely known to take the pistol out, and boy did he ever. Just then he said, you know what, I'm tired of dealing with this duel between these two Pharahs. I'm going to get involved myself. When he had the Valkyrie out, he just pulls the pistol out, takes that Pharah out of the sky all by himself.
Use the Valkyries, ready to go here from Full Send. Self-destruct, trying to get rid of that. Fire Mercy finds exactly what he was looking for mid-air Hurix, and they are absolutely dominating across the board right now. They're going to be at 90%. Winston does jump to safety. No, he does not. I take that back. 5% to go. Can they even make it back in time? Iron is able to touch the point, but he is all alone here. Lucio going to try to skip around, see if he can get him up, or at least keep him healthy at that. They do have the Valkyrie in effect here for the Mercy. Sound barriers out from both sides. Pulse Bomb onto a door. Not quite able to find the kill onto the mech as he's getting healed back up here. But still an opportunity for Full Send to pull themselves back into this one. Pulse Bomb does get the D-Mech onto Iron. They've got a few people in the area of here, but Voltic Esports looking so healthy right now. They have the Valkyrie out from Dino, and they're looking to take this first round.
Oh, I don't know about this. See a nice barrage come out, but Dino once again, this time with a lot of help from the rest of the team, but still ending up with the kill, pulling that pistol out to say, you know what, good night to the other Pharah. They take it 100-0, as you said, but already you're seeing some of the same issues that Full Send had on Night Market just being brought up once again. Now, obviously, they looked a lot better on the other maps, this one being their best. But will that be the case again when Exodia, he was on the Pharah before, Defran, or rather Frill, had a great performance. It was kind of back and forth a couple of times there, but Dino obviously just making sure that tilted more into their favor. Now the question is it going to be the case once more where we're just going to see a quick and easy 2-0, or are we going to be able to go into a round 3 where Exodia had a fantastic performance actually alongside Sinker on that last map on Control Center?
Yeah, this was actually a really solid one from them. They got off to a really hot start, like you said, with Exodia picking up the first kill. So if they can find that again, they're going to put themselves into a good position. But Didn't really have to worry about Hobbs on the Tracer last time around here, but regardless, Anu, the first to drop. It's a 1-for-1. Defran in the skies needs to be taken care of here. It's back and forth for the most part, but those Mercies are going to be a priority target right now. And it looks like Voltic Esports kind of have the positional advantage right here as Sinker going to be taken down. And this is looking like it's all Voltic.
And it looks like they are going to be able to get that first cap advantage, and that's going to be big here, especially as they're already up 1-0. They already look really good in the skies as well, and now backing up is going to be that Mercy who's trying to get away. They are looking like they're going to get away with the Mercy, but maybe not Exodia. We'll have to see, you know, getting pretty aggressive there one more time, but he's going to come back, get a little bit more healing, and get that much closer, that much further ahead from Darren Neko to getting that first Valkyrie up, which could mean something into this next fight.
Not ready to go with that, like you had mentioned, as the pulse bomb's out there from Hobbs, not quite able to find its mark, but they are really contesting this bridge quite nicely. Self-destruct trying to buy a little bit of space, but Hurix, they just push forward even more. They end up losing their Diva right now, but the Valkyrie comes down from Zyno. Two are down. We'll see if he's able to bring them both back up. Defran going to be back into the mix right now as they try to contest as long as they can. They have the Primal Rage from the Winston. They should be able to get that Diva back into this one here as he picks up a second. Defran for the second time. Exodia, meanwhile, picks up two. The barrage comes down here. They're still holding on to this one. But Full Send starting to battle their way back into this. Have the numbers for the most part, but barrage up top from the Pharaoh again. Defran goes down once more. Hurix, can they hold on?
Well, this has been great stuff from their tanks, and I said that was the big question mark on this one here, where, you know, we weren't sure, at least I wasn't too sure about Adore and Matman. I hadn't seen them too much. I think I've seen Matman once, but Adore I haven't seen at all, and, you know, they've had a huge impact so far in this match, really doing a lot here, because that fight should have been winnable at around 30-35%, but it hasn't been, and the tanks have really done a great job. Matman just waiting this one out to just try to stall it out, and man, they've really made this one last a heck of a lot longer than it really should have.
Wow, they're going to get themselves up to a clean 83. Nope, still contesting this one, but the Tracer, 85% comes up there before they get the flip. So it's going to take a heck of a comeback from Full Send to be able to, you know, push this to a third round. But here, I think they have the ultimates ready to do that. If they're got both support ultimates, which is going to be pretty big if they can maintain, you know, a good ult economy right now, is we are going to see Voltic Esports look to move in. Self-destruct going to try to push them away from the high up top as they find Dino actually forced off the map right there. That's a good pickup for Full Send, and they're not going to be forced to use either of those support ultimates. Really good play from Iron.
And now Exodia has really been putting on the pressure himself. We saw him get those first two opening picks, then laid it all out on the line with that barrage. Now he has another one already that he's been holding on to for quite some time, actually. And they are looking pretty good here in terms of ultimate charge at the moment, as they have several options available that should be enough to be able to control this, and especially when he goes straight after Disaster there and takes him out of the picture completely.
The rest of Voltic were just in the thick of the fight here, because they didn't really expect a flank from the Fair up top. They did end up using that sound barrier, but, you know, they're still sitting on the Valkyrie, and it's really going to be up to Defran or Hobbs to be able to find that kill onto him, or see what they can do with these tanks as well, as they are going to be able to more than likely match that 85%, if not take the lead here with another team fight. Sound barrier ready to go from Disaster. He's able to connect onto a few guys. Pulse bomb from Hobbs finds the D-Mech onto Iron. That's a terrific start. But Hurix, Valkyrie comes through. They're able to pick up Iron. We'll see what else they want to do with this one. As Exodia gets down, they should be able to bring him back up into the mix. Hurix with so many ultimates ready to go. Defran gets taken down before he can use that barrage. Hurix, they are so close to being able to recapture the point right now. The Full Send, they pull back. They're going to be able to maintain control right here, Hurix, and they are looking very efficient in doing so.
And they need to keep pressuring these guys out before Matman takes too much from the Tracer, who's just honing in on him right now. Matman has been good so far of just creating a little bit more of an aerial threat to help out Defran in that fight against the other Farah Mercy, and that's really kind of given them an advantage on top of just obviously getting that first pick onto the Diva, which opened it up a little bit to take down Anhu a little bit. But man, they're still hanging on here, and Exodia saying he doesn't want to let this go without a huge fight.
Oh man, but it's Darren. He goes down. Iron gets D-Mech'd. The Pulse Bomb doing a lot of damage. It's Sinker against the world. He's in a 1-on-2 right now. Make it a 1-on-4 here, because they're going to be forced to give this one up. Sinker just needs to regroup with the rest of his team. They are going to have enough time to do just that here. It's going to be one final engagement. Sinker going to be on a Pulse Bomb. Not really no ultimates from either side. This is going to be up to him, I think, to be able to stick it to the Mercy more than likely, as Hobbs gets taken down early on.
And now they just have to wait for Dino to get that Valkyrie. He didn't have it up to begin with, so it's going to be tough for them here, especially as they're trying to control the point, that he is going to be in a very dangerous position for most of this fight, but the Valk helping them out. So much heals coming out here for Dino.
Sound barrier was big as well from Badger. They're almost ready to go with the Valkyrie from Darren. They're going to have the Primal Rage to prolong this one. There's the Valkyrie coming out from both sides, actually. As it's looking like Badger actually gets back up into this one here. It's going to be a very long team fight. They cannot afford to step off that point. Pulse Bomb goes down, not quite able to connect there from the side of Sinker, but here it's with D.Va out of the mech. Sound barrier, no, Disaster gets taken down as he tries to drop the beat. He's going to be taken down. They should be able to reclaim control of the point right now. Here, overtime is going to drop, and we are going to a round number 3.
Wow. And that's the second time now that we've seen it just be one of those really close 199s on a Lijiang Tower map. We saw it the first time through in that last set against the Throne on Night Market, and now coming through onto a map that they really looked excellent on against the Throne and just barely were able to squeak out a win there to take it into a round number 3. Now going over to Control Center. Now, this is another map that Full Send looked pretty solid on. I imagine that, you know, Sinker and Exodia are going to be able to do some, kind of work their magic on this one again, but I don't know. It just feels like, all in all, Voltic Esports is contesting so well right now, and I feel like they're firing on all cylinders. I think that we might see them. I think it's going to be a close one here, Storm, but I think we're going to be seeing Voltic Esports actually taking this first map.
Really, I'm putting it over to Full Send right now. I think what we saw displayed from Exodia and Sinker last time on this point was incredible, and their opponents really weren't able to contest him at all here. As I say that, Exodia is the first to fall at the hands of that Fire Strike. They lose their main tank, and they're going to be forced to retreat back to their base, maybe pick up a kill or two along the way, see if they can get a regroup before that control point unlocks, but I just don't see that happening here with Reinhardt just making his way back to the front.
So Control for the third time in a row now. Oh, a Full Send. Gonna be losing Exodia here as he just completely eats so much damage there in his face, and now they're getting backed up, and Sinker taking a lot of pressure. They're forced to get aggressive here, and they actually benefit a little bit with that first kill, and make it a second as well.
This pickup from Hobbs does avoid a disaster there by finding the Riptire, but Hurix, they just continue to push forward. It's going to be a short stay from the side of Voltic. They get up to 24%. Not a bad start by any means, but we've seen what Exodia can do when they continue to apply this pressure. And coming around the side, Hobbs Defran as well with a Riptire. They find it midair, almost gets it. Meanwhile, around the corner, Sinker out in a little bit of a duel here. He's going to get a little bit of support from the rest of his team. Badger, Disaster Post sitting on the Valkyrie. We'll see who gets picked off first, as there's the charge. Mattman, he's way in enemy territory, though, but it's a tactical visor coming out from Hobbs. Meanwhile, it's going to be a Transcendence forced out. No follow-up from the Graviton Surge from Iron. No one's really in a good position to do just that. Earthshatter lays Mattman flat. He's going to be taken down as both teams use the Valkyrie right now. Here, it's Graviton Surge out from a door, but a Transcendence is here to save the day. They pick up a few kills for themselves, but Mattman is all alone. He's going to get dropped once again, and it's going to be Full Send, maintaining control here, because they're going to hold on and get 50%.
And off the back of Exodia there, he got shut down earlier, but now firing back in a big way, shutting down Hobbs, making sure that they canceled out that tac visor that could have won them, but just kind of stuck around the backside, took out Hobbs, and then was able to deal with the Junkrat, so there's no more damage pressure at all. And now he's going to unleash a Riptire, and that's going to back up, give his team a lot of just free score, basically, because nobody wants to come in, and just taking out Frill.
That's a big play. That's exactly what they needed. Now Sinker is ready to go, locked and loaded for that Deadeye. If he can find the right angle for it, that would be a massive pickup for these guys as they hit 80%. Voltic Esports, they need to take this fight if they want any chance of taking the round and taking the map. It's do or die right now. Iron ready to go with the Graviton Surge. Maybe the Wombo combo can come out here if possible. It's going to connect onto 4 of them. Exodia around the side. He is going to line them up. Deadeye picks up 2. The Transcendence is pinned way into the back here. It makes no difference. and Full Send do it once again. They take Lijiang Tower, and they're going to go up 1-0 in this finals.
And you talk about the impact of a single play, and the one that we saw from Exodia was exactly that. And it might not be play of the game. It probably won't be. Oh, it might be. I'm hoping it is, because I think that actually would be a great representation of the play of the game. It's not going to be the one that I thought. This is a great play to just cancel out, just get a ton of damage out. You know, that was actually a much better Deadeye than we saw the first time around from Sinker, who tried to get a Deadeye to just cancel out Hobbs, and I believe it was Disaster on the Mercy, but Hobbs finished him off before he could get anything done. Obviously, that one was a lot better, but I think the play also Exodia made earlier, sneaking around the backside, killing off Hobbs inside attack visor, then finishing off Frill as well. I think that was a little bit more impactful because it gave them a lot to work with into the next couple of fights and really kind of secured the map for them there. I mean, that really turned the map much more heavily in their favor on that one play alone. Now moving over to Nepal, I really hope that we're going to be seeing it as close as what we saw on Lijiang Tower, going back and forth, obviously Full Send with a lot of momentum going into this map here, Storm, but I don't know, this could be very good here.
I'm hoping for that to be the case. If Voltic managed to tie it up, we would be heading to a game number 3 on Hollywood, in which Full Send just, I mean, they stopped the competition in the semifinals on that map, but we haven't seen either of these teams on Nepal here tonight. And I'm looking forward to more than likely getting some of that Junkrat action once again here as we head to Sanctum to get things started here. And let's see what Exodia wants to do. Does he want to go back to the Junkrat? Was very potent with it on Control Center there. We'll see if that's going to be the case once again.
And now we're going to be seeing Anhu and Iron go back to that tank composition that, I mean, you do see a lot on this map in particular, especially now. You know, that spam composition is just so powerful in a map like this. But, you know, just... it's pretty much exactly what they ran on Hollywood. Obviously, the DPS options, the support's different, but that tank role is exactly that kind of coordination that they're looking for a map like this. Yeah, you typically see something more like what Voltic is pulling out here, where you do see those tanks, you do see the Soldier, you see the Junkrat, the Mercy in play as well, after that first little spurt of speed to try to get into position, which is all important to get control of this high ground, which they're going for here. But see what happens here. Soldier versus no Soldier.
And the Pharah up against Hobbs here. Hobbs is terrific on that Soldier 76. Let's see what he can do with it. They're kind of just backed off of this one with the Orisa out of the picture. They don't really have much of a point presence. They can look for a pick or two, but Mattman's on the point. He's nice and healthy here, and it's looking like they might be able to secure the first objective points. That's going to be the case, but Iron comes around with the flank, finds that Zenyatta, and that's going to be more than likely what they need to move in here. The Resurrect comes through, though, and Iron kind of in a rough spot. Meanwhile, they do manage to take control of the point and then move over to it, Kyrix, but they will be able to actually fully get this one for themselves. I'm just not sure how long they're going to be able to last.
Well, we've seen Hobbs put out a good amount of pressure. It's just hard for them to actually get these eliminations that they're looking for. I mean, it's been back and forth. They already lost control of the point here, Storm, and now Hobbs backing up. I mean, they're really just kind of relying on either a pick from Frill or maybe a door going around the side or just some lucky couple of shots coming through from Hobbs, who's killed off right now, but Tac Visor available.
Door in a really rough spot. He's going to be able to get to safety, though, as they look to move on to the point. Friend nearly taken out there. Not quite going to be dropped, though. A few ultimates for both sides. Most importantly, Disaster ready to go with the Valkyrie. Badger not quite there. That could be big, as we do see the hook onto the point. He gets displaced by Anu. What a pickup. Meanwhile, it's a tactical visor flank. He finds two, finds the Far Mercy. They can battle their way back into this one as the Iron picks up another kill. He drops him over the side. He's going to be taking down the whole hog. A little overkill, but he's just going to push him off the map, and they're going to hit 55% with ease.
And that's what a comp like this can do with map control. I mean, you have that potential to just get environmental kills between both of your tanks. You know, you also have that opportunity with Sinker on the Junkrat as well, and just the control that you have to be able to keep everybody else off of the point is just huge on this map in particular.
See if they can move on to the point. Orisa a little, not even a little, Hurix, he's way out of position, just not quite coordinated with the rest of the team, it seemed, Hurix. They pop a Transcendence, which again, I think that wasn't even really necessary, but they're going to move on to the point. Actually, Hurix, they find a few kills for the side of Voltic. They might have an opportunity to pull this one back, but it's Dino and it's Disaster against the world. They're not going to quite have the damage to do just that. It's going to be 93%. Hurix, they are going to play rather aggressively. The friend might be able to contest this one. Just a couple seconds to go if possible. Easy able to. He does contest in time, but they're going to be really hard pressed to be able to get the team to the point. Hurix overtime going to take down, and Full Send are one round away from taking the finals.
Seems like Exodia has really been the X factor here. Yeah, Iron has just been so proficient on everything that he's played. Diva, Hog. I think the last couple of times he's picked out Hog, it's been huge for Full Send. You know, getting a couple of really key picks with those hooks. They're gonna make some adjustments now, but Exodia has been very consistent, I'd say. You know, where Sinker has had a couple of pop-off moments, even on Widow, on Hollywood, but Exodia on a lot of these characters like Pharah and Junkrat has really performed quite well, I would say, so far. And I think it's a big reason why Full Send has looked so strong.
Well, this is it, Hurix. We're headed to Village. We're going to see that Far Mercy come out once again here, and Voltic Esports are going to have to do something big, something spectacular here if they want to be able to take it. I mean, we've seen glimmers of hope from these guys. I mean, they had the lead. They've taken them around on Lijiang Tower and looked so close to being able to take the map. But Hurix, what has happened? They are just getting throttled right now and off to not probably the worst start we've seen in all 5 rounds so far, Hurix. And it's going to be Full Send connecting with the first points, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a clean wipe where, I mean, virtually, demolished. Full Send just completely ripped them to pieces. And then you're also talking about not only a late kill onto a Diva, which is one of the worst things that could happen, but then now forcing the Mercy res out as well. So now you have an advantage on your support play on top of everything.
And Sinker finding the first picks, and we saw this in their semifinal match here. They were very capable of just picking up first picks left and right from Sinker and Exodia, and they do it once again here. Dino out of the picture here. They are destroying them across the board. This is the least coordinated we've seen Voltic Esports so far. They looked like a collective unit in the earlier rounds, especially on Lijiang Tower, but just not the case this time around.
And it seems like things are kind of falling apart. I mean, it definitely, I agree with you. There's sort of a degradation in terms of just their ability to execute properly. The synergy just isn't there. It doesn't seem like they're cohesive at all in the way that they actually aggress to the point. But now we're seeing them come in one more time. Again, separated already, but at least this time they find some picks.
Yeah, the barrage is a big play from DeFran here, but Darren comes through. He's going to be able to pick up 2. He's still without Badger and Iron. And Badger, if he comes back, he's got the sound barrier. There's still an opportunity as so many are off the board from the side of Voltic Esports. Full Send might be able to hold on to this one here because they've got the numbers just slightly, but no, it's going to be a Primal Rage coming out from Anu. Badger is back in the mix. He's got the sound barrier if he needs it, but he doesn't because Sinker connects. They're at 77% here. It's one fight will take the tournament.
We see Badger pushing forward with these guys, just warding them off a little bit, but he's got sound barrier here, and that's going to be big because really there's not a huge threat. If they can deny Disaster in the way that they've been actually getting out to the point, Disaster has been very vulnerable. But Darren Echo taken out. This is an opportunity here for them to move in.
Be the case. Badger has the sound barrier here. He's going to drop the beat here. Hits all of his teammates. We'll see if they're able to battle their way back into this one. Adore with the self-destruct, trying to connect. Not quite going to be able to find anything here. We're in overtime. This is do or die for Voltic. They must take this fight right now as DeFran comes up big. Pulse Bomb is out there as it doesn't quite connect. But Hurix, they finally find an entry point. Find a few kills for themselves, and they're going to be able to put themselves on the board. But it's going to take a heck of a comeback to be able to get themselves into this series.
Yeah, and they're going to be relying a lot on Disaster. You got picked in the last one, but at least this time they're not going to the point. They're just holding it out, and I think that's where they're going to be a little bit better in terms of just being able to deal with everything here. Now, Hobbs kind of low and might actually get killed off rather early, but finally getting some healing as... Oh, they tried to finish the job. Sinker went in with the Pulse Bomb, just didn't come up with anything.
Sound barrier went out as well. As Dino does have that Valkyrie, he's going to go ahead and pop this one and bring that man back up into the mix. Badger's out of the picture as well. It's numbers advantage over to Voltic. They don't really have anything else to use right now other than a pulse bomb coming up from Hobbs, but Hurix, I'm not sure if they're going to need it right now. Dino forced to use his, or excuse me, that's Darren Echo coming out with his Valkyrie. He picks up Exodia, and Hurix, they might have gotten themselves back into this one, but no, Hobbs, he sticks the pulse bomb. Iron's also taken out of the mech. It's do or die. Hobbs against the world. He's got Disaster coming back into the mix. Both supports are on the point, but they don't have a point presence other than the Lucio. Winston is now in the mix here. It's a 4-on-2 on the point. Farah coming back for the side of Voltic, but the pulse bomb finds Mattman. They are going to be forced to trickle back to the point, and with Darren Echo here, they take it back. Overtime is in session right now. Adore gets the self-destruct. He's not able to re-neck, and that's going to be Full Send taking the map and taking the tournament.
And Full Send just really... I mean, I said it before, but just really dismantling them, I think, is the best way to put it, because... You know, over time, you saw Voltic Esports slowly getting figured out. It seemed like we saw them just get downloaded over the course of the set, because, I mean, I think I saw it in chat earlier. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a tryout roster, if I'm not mistaken, where a lot of these guys are being brought in for the first time. So, I mean, really kind of just exploited in that regard, where Full Send, obviously, with a lot more experience working together and playing together and everything, and slowly were able to just kind of figure things out and made it that much easier for them to just win this one out.
And here I'm so excited